Call this meeting to order. All members are present except for Miss Nemo. Stand for the pledge. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tigers roar. We have the TPS track. Coach Miller. You're first.
Step back here.
Wherever you're comfortable. Yes.
I was asked to come in and talk about our track season this year. If you followed us, you know we had an outstanding year. We were state runner-ups this year. We were conference champions, regional champions. Came 5 points short of Bishop Kelly in the end. It actually came down to the last event of the day, the mile relay on Saturday. We had to beat Bishop Kelly by 2 spots. If we did, we won the meet. And we finished about this much in front of them. So it was really that exciting and that close. But we got points everywhere we were supposed to. First of all, the reason we were successful is good athletes. Our athletes have bought into what we do. I've got a great staff of coaches. Gary Aikens here. Joe Kanowski was supposed to be here. I don't know, he may come in later or something, but Devin Murray couldn't be here. Devin coaches our sprinters, our sprint relays. Gary takes our throws, has done a great job there. And then Kanowski coaches our hurdlers. And we had a hurdler that was state runner-up this year in Dinesha Bailey. One of our only 2 seniors that scored points at the state meet. I gotta give a lot of credit to David Spears at our junior high because David coaches our junior high girls, and our junior high 8th grade girls lost 1 meet all year, I think. Had an outstanding season, a bunch of great athletes there. And it takes good athletes to be successful. And all the years that I've been at Tahlequah, we were just talking a while ago. I think I just completed my 44th year. And I'm still having fun, still enjoying it, and loving the kids. And we've had a good bunch of athletes, but I give a lot of credit to these coaches for putting them together in the right spots and things. And we talk all the time and discuss what we're doing with them. And we were the state champions in the 4x200 relay. We were state runner-ups in the 4x100. And on Friday, we had the state's fastest time in the prelims. Going into Saturday, we had won that prelim by a pretty good clip over everybody in our heat, but there was always Glenpool right there behind us. And one of my best friends, Ted Smith, coaches at Glenpool. I respect him immensely, and he does a great job. Well, he happened to have the nation's 2nd fastest 100-meter runner and the nation's 2nd fastest 200-meter runner, and she nipped us in the finals. So we ended up 2nd there. We ended up 3rd in the 4x400 relay, 8th in the 4x8. We placed in every event that we ran at state meet, which was fantastic. We've never had a year like that before. And it was just an outstanding year. We're looking forward to next year being back and being a threat next year. That 8th grade bunch is going to really add a lot of depth to what we already have coming back. We've got 3/4 of all of those relays coming back. We're losing Riley Dotson, who's going on to play college softball at Carlisle, I believe it is. And she could have very easily have gone on and ran college track if she wanted to. But her lifelong dream has always been to play softball, and we hope she really does well down there. But we have at least one 8th grader that we think is going to be able to step in and wants that spot. So hopefully we'll be back with some of the state's fastest relay teams next year. Gary Aiken, Gary's been with me for a long time. I can't remember back how long he's been with me now, but it seems like forever. But I just give him full reins with the throwers. And he had a young lady that improved in the last 2 weeks of the season, somewhere between 3 and 5 feet, going into the state meet, and actually was on the stand. And that was a big plus for us as far as points because we didn't anticipate that. But I just have to compliment my coaches. I know most of them aren't here right now. Dwayne Jones helps us a lot. Brad Gilbert, we all work together. I mean, our whole staff works together and does a fantastic job. And I know everywhere we go, people respect Tahlequah Track and Field when they see us come. So in fact, there's been some meets where people won't show up because we're there. Anything else you want to know?
Well, I would just like to say thank you to both of you. 44 years here is a really long time. I'm so glad you still love it. I'm so glad you are still here and doing greater things every year than you did the year before. And you too, Coach Aiken. I wanted to point out that Miss Bailey that you talked about, her picture's in the hallway, perfect hurdle picture. And we have some other track athletes on the wall. Yes.
I just saw this one back here, and there's some fantastic pictures, but I just want to say, I think our administration, because as long as I've been there, I know when we first got our track, we had ran an invitational at Northeastern State way back when I first came here, and it was very difficult because of the facilities. It was like running on the middle of I-40 out there, just no cars. But the facilities weren't what we needed, and we got a track and field back about 2000, I think it was, somewhere in there, 2005. And from that point on, our administration has supported us 100%. We put on one of the best high school meets in the area. And it all goes down to the staff that we have to work with there. They all do a fantastic job, and everywhere we go, people acknowledge that fact too. So I appreciate Tahlequah Public Schools for giving us that opportunity.
Thank you. And thank you to our community for supporting our bond. We'll have a brand new track this fall. So, yes.
Public to be heard? None? Yay.
We're recovering, we're resurfacing.
Yes, it will be completely resurfaced. We have done some editing, so to speak, in the last 4 years. It doesn't last very long. So now we will have an entire new surface and it'll be like brand new.
I just wanted to clarify that we weren't building another.
No, resurfacing the present track
Yes.
at the high school. Yes.
D, discussion to vote to approve the minutes for the previous meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
We have any discussion? Okay. Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford? And I. Sabrina?
Good evening. So receipts for the month of May for general fund were $4,047,114.97. Building fund receipts, $92,713.63. Sinking fund, $67,024.37. That brings our fund balance in general fund at the end of May to $14,193,174.52. Building fund is $6,249,334.69. Bond fund is $724,716.57. Sinking fund, $2,870,035.99. So we have a total of $25,063,785.56 in all the funds combined. Our activity count is $1,181,691.28 at the end of May. To my utilities, so I did the same thing that I did last month. So from May of last year to May of this year, our electric was $4,700 more. Our water was $2,300 more, and our gas was $700 less. But from April of 26 to May of 26, our electric was $4,400 less. Our water was $3,100 more, which was due to watering of the fields. And our gas was $2,700 less. So,
Equaling out a little bit. We did get a notice, like everybody, I guess, that there'll be a 6% increase
Yes.
So we know
The
that that's going to
increase,
be
yes.
reflected in our
August.
utility, bills starting in
Yeah.
August.
And I will budget for that amount.
Will you break that out and say?
Yeah.
Any more questions? I'm impressed with the interest earned that you put in red. That is great.
Yes. Right now, we're earning really good interest, on a monthly basis. And actually, Kevin Dudley is the one that's in charge of that. And he will talk to me and Tanya about like if he's gonna make a plan to do something. And then we kind of like all decide what we wanna do, but he is really the one that makes sure that like we're getting the best interest that we can at that time.
Might wanna read that out loud for,
The interest just for the month of May was $84,995.93.
that's, yes. Great job.
That's my extra savings.
Rainy day fund.
Anything else?
Anybody? Okay, Deputy Treasurer to report and discuss and vote to approve the monthly financials report. We have a motion,
I'll move.
second. Okay, any discussion? Approving E1 through 2. Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford? And I. Superintendent report.
As of right now, we have 3,446 students enrolled for next year, 508 employees. We have, transfer openings across the district that are listed on our website. They're all over the place, so and it changes from a day to day, so always make sure and check the website to see where we have openings. As always, middle school is the one that has the least amount, if not any. I think there actually might be 0, because we're always a little over capacity, at that site. On our, just some bond updates, you may have noticed that the field house and grandstands, the mobilization and demolition is complete. Site work and utility relocation is underway, so you can see that they are building the pad for the field house. And what's good about that is we were gonna have to cut it even for the bleachers with the field. So they're literally moving dirt, which is really good dirt, thank you, from one side to the other to build that pad instead of bringing in dirt. So that is extremely helpful. They have one more, they can only do 8 inches at a time, and then they proof roll it. A geotech comes and checks it, then it's all approved, then they get to do 8 more inches. They have one more section to do, and they're working on the site utilities and those type of things. Probably another 4 to 5 weeks before, I'm like, when are we gonna see something in the air? So that's probably more like 6 weeks away.
Dirt work takes forever.
Yes, everything underground, that side work is, and we want it to be done correctly,
Yes,
so
that's
that's
true.
good, and they're doing their due diligence. If you go into the middle school and high school right now, you might question my sanity, because it looks like whoosh, we have destroyed a lot of the areas. Demolition, the hallways, the lockers are gone, the ceiling is gone, so you go into the original part of the high school, and it looks like it's just stripped bare. But removing those lockers did really add that extra space that we were hoping, so we're super excited about that. It is gonna be so much nicer for our kids. Bathrooms at the middle school have, every set of bathrooms except one were stripped completely. The paint is up, they look great. They'll do the floor, and then they will some of them had already the new panels. We'll put those in. If they didn't, we'll put new panels to match, and then all the things back in there. So when we look at it as non-construction people, I look with wide eyes going, we go to school in 7 weeks. And they're like, it's okay. So we're hoping it's okay is true. So they're working on demolition, wall repair, painting, that type of thing. The schedule for the next month, they're building that pad for the field house. Under grandstand buildings will be completed. So they will build underneath the bleachers are actually buildings. there are buildings under the bleachers, and then they will build the bleachers over the buildings. So that's kind of the order that goes. On middle school, they're working on the painting, started the floor. The cafeteria expansion is also started, and so they're working on that. Tile Sequoia Playground, I don't know if you've noticed this week, but they've been up there taking that asphalt out. Yay, they were really gonna try to get the asphalt out and the sod in this week because we have more rain coming next week, and we thought we would just let the good Lord water the sod rather than us pay to water the sod. But we'll see how that timing works out on that. So we've got things going on everywhere. And I told Deanne we weren't gonna worry till July 6th. We're just tabling worrying until July 6th. And then we'll worry if things don't look a little bit further along than they are at the moment. Also, I just want to give a shout out to our district level, certified admin team. You know, we went to Green Bay last week to Initiative 1, and we got to present to a large group of some educators, some business on a case study on Telesville Public Schools and what we do here. They did an amazing job. I also got to sit on a leader panel for the entire conference. It was a really good experience, kind of a culminating event for that first group that went through this leadership experience. And we're going to continue to do work with them, for them, through them. But I just wanted to thank them for stepping out of their box and presenting to a mixed group of people. I mean, talking to CEOs of large companies is a little out of our typical wheelhouse. But what I think Carr said it best. He's like, I probably got more from this conference than I have in most conferences in a really long time. So it was just a different look at things. So thank you guys for going with me and for helping with that. Child nutrition update. We served 43,882 meals in 11 serving days in the month of May. We also served 967 meals for the first 3 days of summer school that happened to be in May. They have served 3,608 meals, or they served 3,608 meals on our first day at Garden Walk and Fox Street Meal Pickup. Wow. So people are coming to get that food, and that is absolutely fantastic for our families. And it is a lot of work and a lot of scheduling and a lot of coordinating on child nutrition's part, but they are knocking it out of the ballpark. We are about $4,600 in the negative this month, but we bought a $13,000 oven for the middle school. So really, that in my mind puts us pretty bright side up.
Look at Lacey,
Had
she's
the
all
last
happy
year,
about
our last month, we were even, or little, we
Yes.
made some lunch.
Yes, so they are going to present in July, and they'll have the total for the year, where we are with our guarantee, where, you know, and we're good, we feel much more confident than we did at the end of last year. And what we just want is to be able to sustain this for our families, and that's looking like it's looking like a great partnership. So thanks, Lacey, on all you're doing for that. We did put a survey out to our 27 seniors, and the parents, the majority chose Sunday, May 16th at 2 p.m. for the graduation. So I wanted to publicly say that here at this board meeting, get that on a schedule. We'll get that out to their families now so they can start scheduling with that around that date. Other dates of importance, our next board meeting is July 14th. We do have executive session that night. We will do a couple of the elements of my superintendent evaluation. And then August 3rd is when we have staff back. August 6th is when we have students back. And it just scares me to say that out loud. It is going so very fast. But we've got a lot to accomplish in the next 6 or 7 weeks, but I'm confident we will get it done and be ready for our staff and students that first week of August. Any questions?
It's interesting to compare the way corporations look at running business and leadership, and to kind of put it side by side with, you know, a school's educational approach to leadership.
Yes.
And learn from
It really is.
Yeah.
They're about, it was probably 40-60 on business and education. And to mix the group truly gave you a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yes. And we talk about that a lot. I mean, I know I talk about that a lot. People forget that school is a business, but it's a, $50 million business. And so you have to look at it in both perspectives, to be successful at it. And Sabrina does a wonderful job of helping me do that on a daily basis.
Except our business is 99% our product. People,
We're creating humans.
human
Yes.
beings of the
Yes.
future. Yes.
We're
And
refining.
so there's a
Refining.
we're
Yeah,
refining,
yeah.
yes.
We're not creating humans here. Take that off, YouTube. We're refining humans. A much better verbiage. Start all kinds of rumors.
That's right, we could.
All right.
All right, G, discussion and vote to approve Sabrina Gardner and Lacey Wilson as authorized signers on federal claims for the TPS district for the 26-27 fiscal year.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion.
Required by law to have on a board meeting this and the next, each time.
Okay, I don't think they're not shady, so I think I'm okay with it. Okay, let's go. Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Crawford, and I. H, discussion and vote to approve certificate of authority. Superintendent Tanya Jones is appointed as the delegate of authority on behalf of Tahlequah Public School District I-35 to deal with any state and federal governmental division in regard to spending of state or federal monies and to the compliance of the district with funding requirements, civil rights laws, and special education related statutes. The superintendent shall have the authority to complete and submit necessary governmental forms, provide governmental agencies with requested information, make application for governmental funds, and perform all acts needed to comply with state and federal law requirements for the receipt of grant money and for the protection of civil rights of employees and students. Programs include Title I, II, III, IV, and formula grants, Title VII, Impact Aid, and VI, Indian Education, Johnson O'Malley, IDEA programs, all discretionary competitive grants, adult basic education, Title IX official, and supervisor, 504 designations. Deanne Mashburn, Nikki Malloy, or Melissa Dawson shall be designated as local contact person and the individual authorized to sign in absence of the superintendent. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Do we have discussion? Okay, Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Crawford. Did you say aye?
Aye.
Sorry, and I.
Got kind of stacked.
Okay. I, discussion to vote to approve Tahlequah Public Schools to apply and participate in teacher empowerment program.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
This
Discussion.
is something we have to do to be able to participate in OTEP. That's what we did this spring for the 32 teachers that applied.
okay.
And so we're trying to be prepared. It should come out in July, and then we'll get our application in, and this is a part of the application process. We've been working on refining the rubric. We've got feedback from teachers, TEA, everyone. We'll get that out to everybody at the beginning of school as soon as the application is out, and then we would go through the process. We have to go through our process and then put the people in that rise to the top of the rubric, and then we know whether or not it is approved or not. But this is that first step. We just wanted to be ready.
What was the acronym?
OTEP, Oklahoma Teacher Empowerment Program.
More discussion. Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Crawford,
Aye.
and I. J, discussion and vote to approve or activity account descriptions for the 2026-27 fiscal year. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Discussion.
I didn't like seeing my son's graduation year on the list since he's
gonna be officially in high school next year, so that was a good touch. That's when that starts. Yes, again, this is just, that and the next item, the things that we do yearly to prepare for the new year.
I like that there's some new stuff on there. Okay, Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Crawford,
Aye.
and I. Item K, discussion and vote to approve the designation of purchasing agents and receiving clerks for each school site as follows. Purchasing agents, do I need to
You
name
do
all
not.
these?
You can say 1 through.
Purchasing agents 1 through 7 and receiving agents 1 through 5. Do you have a motion?
I'll move to approve. Second.
Second, okay, discussion? Okay, Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Crawford,
Aye.
and I. Item L, discussion and vote to approve the following surplus 1 through 4. Discussion,
Move to approve.
okay. Somebody second?
I'll second.
Okay.
This is, we've done a lot of surplus, obviously, in the
Yes.
last few months, as we have been replacing $250,000 worth of furniture. So, this is, we should be really, there's always something on there because people continue to clean. But we have really put a lot of work and time into things that have been stored in places for a really long time. We are going to, we've been working with all area school districts. A lot of them have already come and looked at the items that had been previously surplused. And so what has not been sold yet or has newly been surplused, it's all going to be in the middle school gym, and we're going to have a garage sale of sorts Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And so we've got that on our Facebook page and our website. And so what we will do is we'll get that out to the public. They're very, very inexpensive items. And then we will work with someone to come and scrap whatever is left.
Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Crawford,
Aye.
and I. Item M, discussion to approve or not approve membership and property casualty insurance quote for Oklahoma School Insurance Group.
I'm back.
Hey.
There you go again.
Okay, so I think everybody got this color coded.
Tonight?
Very confusing.
Maybe did not tonight. I printed mine.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I had, I looked on it.
Okay. So we've got just, and you don't mind me just
You're good.
right
That's
here.
fine.
We've got just really a couple of decisions to make. This looks very confusing, but we really couldn't figure out a good way to put it together. Last month, I presented our property and casualty, and I brought up the point of a way to save money was on our central building, our main building. We carry about $9.5 million worth of coverage. Well, it runs about 26 grand a year. One of the options that I proposed was to take it down to just debris removal. So we're not, it's a vacant building that we're not using. Debris removal only cost about $1,900. So we thought, great way to save $2,400 or $24,000 is to take it just to debris removal. Mrs. Walker gave me a great question Friday that I had not even considered. And the answer is pretty much what I was, the lines I was thinking, but I wanted confirmation from OC, and we didn't get that.
Okay.
With debris removal only, if we're not gonna replace, we're not gonna repair. And Mrs. Walker's concern was if we have a corner of the building that's destroyed, is that gonna trigger coverage? Will we have to repair that corner ourselves? So the confirmation that I got is that the debris removal works exactly like actual coverage. It's triggered when the deductible is met. So if we have $100,000 loss, and that's per occurrence, so that doesn't necessarily have to be at the building. It could be one of the adjacent buildings. We've got the cafeteria that we're leaving on here, it's destroyed, and then the corner of the main building is destroyed, and will exceed $100,000, then debris removal kicks in, and we pay coverage to come take that building down and cart it off, clean up the site.
The whole building?
The whole
The
building.
entire building?
The entire
just
building,
for
up to our
the-
coverage limit, which we put at $500,000. So, it should be adequate to to demo the building, and truckers can come in, dump trucks can come in, level it pretty quick. So,
And so, in the second story, the two-story portion is what would be the debris removal only. The cafeteria portion and what I call the math wing, because that's where I went to add math when I was in junior high. That is still covered because we still use it. We're not using it presently, but up till the middle of this last year, Cherokee Nation rented it from us. And we also rent property to East Coast Migrant. And they are interested in possibly contracting with us to use that kitchen, just like Cherokee Nation did for Tila in that building. So that's still covered. It's just the other structure that would be the debris removal portion.
The original structure.
The original structure.
Okay, if the original structure were damaged, let's say a quarter of it, and we had the insurance where we're paying the extra 24,000 a year.
Right.
Would
We're-
it cover, what would it cover?
It would cover to repair that damage.
It wouldn't give us the 9.5.
It potentially could,
Okay.
if you can't get, if destruction is the point where we have to take it down and then rebuild, it potentially could. But the way any coverage would work, I mean, if we have a loss at this building and it's just a quarter of the building, we're gonna repair the building, whichever is least expensive to replace it. So, yeah.
I keep trying to get a new building.
Well, and keep in mind, just because we're removing insurance off of it doesn't mean the building goes away, obviously. It's just how we would react in the event of a loss. So, that building's probably gonna outlast all of us.
And this can be changed. And one of the questions that I think Cammie had with me when I was talking today was, next month we could change our mind. Next year we could change our mind. It's a policy. We can change it at any point we want.
This is your policy. We tailor it to whatever the board decides at the time. So, if we get uncomfortable with it next April and wanna, tornado
I'm
season's coming, we wanna add it
uncomfortable
back.
right now, but I personally am uncomfortable with it because, you could save some dollars to end up losing and then spending.
Yeah, and Mrs. Walker, that is all that insurance is.
And that's,
I mean,
there are no guarantees.
There are no guarantees, and, we can
Well,
self-insure,
insurance
we can
tries
self-insure
to tell
everything.
us.
Well,
Yeah. It's
it-
kind of a guarantee.
I have explained insurance as a guaranteed small loss to prevent in the event of a potential
Catastrophic,
large
yeah.
loss, yeah. Because we're guaranteeing you a loss of your premium. I mean, this is what it's gonna cost you, we know that upfront. So back to my color-coded, deal, our choices, and the other thing that we discussed was this building, one of the changes that occurred with OSIG, any buildings in a flood zone A are no longer covered under our flood policy, under OSIG's flood policy. So what we did was we went to the National Flood Insurance Program.
Okay.
They will insure up to $500,000, and that is our $15,000 price tag.
Okay.
We went ahead and got an excess flood policy up to, I think, the 4 million that we have.
4 million.
The building covered. Don't really see the need in that a flood's not gonna take the building down. It's gonna come in, it's gonna ruin flooring, it's gonna ruin sheet rock. $500,000 is probably gonna be pretty adequate to cover that, if that makes sense.
And
Did it get close this past?
it did not, but it did get in the railing. You can see where there's tree debris in the railing back there, but it didn't come up on the road as far as I know. And that was
That was
up
pretty
and,
bad.
around because we had other damage in other areas,
I've been repairing the fence for the last 4 days.
I
And
bet.
Just wiped out.
It's terrible.
a ton of
Mhm.
it.
Corbin and I have talked about this a lot, and my suggestion is the debris removal only of the 2-story portion of Central and only the primary flood and not the excess flood. That is just my suggestion. And obviously, that's up to you all, to someone to make a motion of how they want to proceed, and then
And that is our option 4.
I don't know that we can
Option
just
four
say
has
option four because
The excess flood
I think
included in there as well.
renewal premium with debris removal only at Central Main
So it-
and flood
That's
and
this
excess flood at WPA.
that we're talking about.
We do not want the excess. So you would just say flood without the, I mean, I think we would just need to read what we want to
Primary
say and not
flood.
actually say the
Mhm.
option for the record.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I will make a motion.
One second.
Well, we need to read the motion that you
The,
want to
my
make.
motion would be for renewal premium with DRO at Central Main and primary flood insurance at WPA building. And I'll say excluding the excess flood insurance, to be clear.
Now, second.
Any more discussion?
I don't think we can discuss.
You okay
that.
with everything? Okay.
Well, I do
Define
fully
it.
understand,
I
but
understand,
I,
but yeah.
I do not feel good about it.
Yeah, it's
so.
still a risk in
Yeah.
your mind and it,
Yes.
and it is a risk.
Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
You may want to respectfully say no.
nay. Ms. Crawford, and I.
Correct. You see what you're from the president and the clerk here. And I'll make the, I'll let you go on to the next agenda item before I start. And the clerk is.
Brittany,
Brittany back there. Okay.
you'll need to sign that too.
I'll put you on there.
All right, so then we'll read M and then he'll chat again.
Discussion of option and vote to approve, not approve, renewal for workmen's compensation insurance.
I move to approve.
I second.
Okay, discussion?
Well, we're gonna let him present.
Right.
and then
I'll
discuss.
present and then
Yeah,
discuss.
I actually have a couple of options here, and
Yes.
this one's gonna be much easier,
Okay.
Everyone will enjoy this one.
Yeah, I've read through.
For the past 30+ years, we've been with Oklahoma Schools Assurance Group, which is different than our insurance group, for workman's compensation. They've been with CompSource, through the entire time until last year. OSAG decided to change actual workman's compensation insurance carriers. They got a better rate, from AmTrust and moved carriers. CompSource came to a few of their agents this year and said, we want the good schools back, and we're willing to price them. So we sent Tahlequah Public Schools an application, and OSAG's renewal came in at $152,000, and CompSource came in at $106,000. So
That's not a big
OSAG's
difference.
expiration was at $140,000. So, CompSource really wants Tahlequah Public Schools back, and it's a good fit. We go right back to the same adjusters, same claims management that we've been used to in the past. So, yeah, we're at $106,223 with the increased payroll over last year, and that's what, $46,000 less than OSAG's renewal.
Yeah,
That's good.
So,
like that.
So I'd like to recommend that we move carriers to OSAG, or from OSAG to CompSource.
To CompSource. Yeah. So our motion would be to approve CompSource for our workman's compensation insurance.
Make that? Yeah, we have a motion that we move our insurance, our workman's comp from OSAG CompSource.
Okay. Do I have a
Second.
second? Any more discussion? Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford?
Aye.
And I.
Board, thank you.
Thank you
Very much.
Was there something she needed to sign?
Do I need
for
to
that
sign
one?
anything for that?
Not on that.
Okay.
Not on that. It was just OSAG. Thank you.
Okay, item O, business items, docket, consent docket, vote to approve, the following, 1 through 4.
Yes.
Do you have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion?
Something,
It's a lot.
there's not anything out of the ordinary on this. It's just, when we renew our Boys and Girls Club, when we're renewing mostly the things that we do every year, for the 26-27 school year. Then we have also, every year, we do a large group of our fundraisers. There were 3 or 4 cattle grading contests, Turkey Nation Holiday Helpers, choir shout out, pet supplies drive, and a golf event were the only new, so the things that were listed in yellow were the only new fundraisers. And then on our out-of-state or overnight trips, grant funded or just things getting prepared for contests even in the following year. They try to do all that work that they can ahead of time, so paperwork's in place in case things go wonderfully.
Probably get that done for you.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford?
Aye.
And aye. Item P, board to consider and take action on a motion approving the renewal of the sublease agreement dated September 1st, 2022 between the district and Tahlequah Educational Facilities Authority for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027 as required under the provisions of the agreement.
I move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
The Tahlequah Educational Facilities Authority is who we do the bond, who we sublease the bond through. And so it has to be approved every year.
Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford? Aye. And aye. Item Q, discussion and vote to approve or not approve the first read of the following handbook manuals for 26-27 fiscal year. These have been a labor of love. Item 1 through 12. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion?
Well, many of you have had questions about that, given feedback on that, so I appreciate that. Having extra sets of eyes to look at it from a parent standpoint, a grandparent standpoint, a teacher standpoint, or just an English teacher standpoint, because it's so easy to make mistakes and we don't want any mistakes put out. So this was that first read. Continue to give us feedback. We'll get that final read in July and get those approved and out to our families and staff.
Are those reviewed every year?
Every year.
Okay.
Yes.
But this year's been a big thing because it's been redone big time.
Well,
Some of them.
we're trying to improve.
It's for the good,
Yes, absolutely.
for the good. More discussion? Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford?
Aye.
And aye. Item R, discussion and vote to approve or not approve the school hours policy, number 5020 for the 26-27 school year, and to provide statutory notice to the Oklahoma State Department of Education in accordance with state law. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Again, a yearly item that we have to have on an agenda to do hours and not days, but really we account for both. And there are big changes in the law coming up for the next year. And so we will be talking about that with you all parents, TEA, that with the number of days required and hours. But we exceed the amount that are required as of right now.
In days or hours or both?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if you went by days, yes, still yes. Yeah.
Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford?
Aye.
And aye. Item S, discussion and vote to approve the revision of the following policy. Student transfer policy.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Required quarterly. As you can see, there's just one board policy on here. We do have the board policy books. If any of you would like to check out one of those handy notebooks that look like this, they're in my office. And so what we are going to be doing, we'll do this, the new board policy in July. Deanne and a couple other, Lacey, Nikki, Melissa are going to be going through and cross-referencing our old policy with the new policy, just to make sure that there's not anything that we would like required or language that we feel needs to be added to that. And then we will reach out to OSSBA. They will add what we need in there, and then we would hope to have that to guide, I mean, it needs to be on the agenda for July. But so there's a lot of work in between now and then, to make that happen. But they're going to go through that table of contents, go through the most used policies, and making sure that there's not something, at Tahlequah that we have felt was imperative to have in policy, in the history of our school district that is not necessarily on their suggested policy. So if we found that, then we would ask them, is there a reason their suggested policy does not list that? And there might be a reason that ours needed to change, or it might just be that we use more detail than required, but we might want it to be more detailed and definite. So that is, on their plate to work on in the next week when I am not here, and they're very excited about that.
You get all the fun, Joe.
When the cat's away, the mice are
That's
not
right.
gonna
The
play.
mice are not gonna play. They're gonna be looking at board policy. Yeah.
Any more discussion? Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford?
Aye.
And aye. Discussion to vote, to approve the schedule of encumbrances 1 through 6.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Discussion? Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford?
Aye.
And aye. Item U, motion and vote to approve personal items 1 through 19. I want to make a motion to approve. Need to read number 2, employment, Ezekiel Gutierrez, Lisa Pack, and I probably need Ezekiel Gutierrez, bus driver, Lisa Pack, special care, para penning certification, Bridget O'Shea, band director, and then there's a correct,
We might say instructor, or Linnell's gonna have.
band
Yeah.
instructor, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Linnell.
What did I say? I don't even-
Director.
Oh, sorry, band
Should be calling in a
instructor,
minute.
sorry about that. No. And then there's a correction on number 5. Down at Abby Keys, it says DHS partnership, and it should say multiple grants.
So you made that motion.
I made that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Okay, Ms. Hires,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Crawford, and I. Get over here, letter B, new business. We do have new business.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, motion and vote to approve or not approve the following. 1 is contract agreement 2025-26 school year, a supplemental service contract with Joe Knight for demolition and or furniture assembly in June of 2026. And number 2 is contract agreement 26-27 school year, supplemental service contract with Joe Knight for demolition and furniture assembly in July 2026. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
I wish you
Okay.
all.
Any discussion?
This I mentioned to a few of you before we started the formal meeting, that the $250,000 worth of furniture that we've replaced across the district, we did not pay for assembly because it was super duper expensive. And so our maintenance crew has been working diligently at it, but we have a few people that have agreed to work at a supplemental contract rate to help us to put the furniture together. And it will save us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for our own people to do it. So he is one that had stepped up to the plate to help with that, and we missed him accidentally on the agenda. So I wanted to make sure that we got that on there so he could be paid for his work.
Anybody else? Ms. Hires?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Crawford?
Aye.
And I. And with that, we're going to adjourn.